Welcome everybody to our copyright piracy and literature training. This is August 24th of the 21-22 school year. This is our first literature training meeting that we have for our families, and we're so excited to bring this training to you all. We hope that you are having a great school year. So let's go ahead and get started. And every session that you probably will see this screen, if it's with us, our team, a family school partnership team, we always like to do some housekeeping to open up the session so you guys know how it is ran. So when we do have chat privileges, given to all the participants in the room. After a while, the notification sounds can get a little annoying. So what we have here, if you look at my pointer, is where you can go ahead and turn those off. So anytime that anyone types in the chat box, those notifications are turned off on your end by clicking on notifications and just selecting or unchecking the chat box notification. You can also access your microphone and your webcam when those capabilities are available in sessions through the settings. How to get to your settings, you just click by the cog right next to your name right here, and then the settings box will populate again. To turn off those chat box notifications, click notifications. To access your mic and your webcam, if you have the page already open or the tab already open, just click on the desired use of communication if that communication mode is available. Again, if you are in future sessions and you see that your screen has frozen, sound is gone away, and everybody's saying they can hear, like typically in the chat box, everything floods. I can't hear you, or we can hear you. Just go ahead and refresh your connection by clicking the refresh here, or you can do Control-R on your keyboard. In future sessions, you may get the opportunity, not this session, we do not have breakout rooms available, but in future sessions, you may get the opportunity to move yourself in different breakout rooms. How you can do that, if the host has that privilege available, you can just click on the quick move icon here on your desktop, and you are able to move yourself in the different breakout rooms if that is available in future sessions. This session, we do not have breakout rooms, but that's just a tip in case you guys find yourself in future sessions and you're trying to figure out how to move into the breakout rooms. I know some of you guys are probably on your mobile devices. The way to access all of those settings on your mobile device, I think you can see on the far right, if you have an Apple, on the far right or the lower right of your screen, the settings icon, that cog, and you can access the notifications, turning everything off just as much as you can access it on the desktop. So I would encourage everyone that is on a mobile device, play with it, figure out how to access things so that when you're in future sessions, you know exactly where to go, how to use the functionalities on the mobile. All right, on tonight's agenda, we're going to be talking about copyright piracy, a whole bunch of things. And this is the list of stuff that we're going to talk about with you. What is copyright? What is piracy? Obtaining free content. And again, it's very important because we know a lot of our students are researching. And this is also good for you all if you want to put this in your tool box when you're doing stuff with work or your higher education or education that you're doing with yourself. But we're going to be talking about copyright and piracy, obtaining free content, how to tell if the content is Creative Commons. I've never heard that before, so we're going to learn that together, right? There's some things that we've never heard about that is, we have to protect ourselves so that we don't get into any bigger issues. And I will explain about that later on in our session. And Mrs. Sonia and Mrs. Gilliard is going to explain it too as well. We're going to talk about using copyrighted material, misusing copyrighted material. A lot of the times that our students are learning how to research and building up papers, they may be utilizing material and they're not giving the reference. So we're going to talk about how important it is for our students and our families to know these different tools so that they are not getting in trouble and they're not plagiarizing. We're going to have some computer maintenance tips, internet safety, email safety, plagiarism and honor code, and a digital literacy library. So we got some fun things for you guys to get in your toolbox. Again, we've recorded this session, so if you want to go back and review with your students, please feel free to use this as a resource. I have the lovely pleasure in introducing our beautiful team, which is your Family School Partnership team. We have myself, Veronica Opani. I am your primary and elementary Family School Partnership Coordinator. We have Miss Sonia Welch, who is going to be following me afterwards. She is your middle grades Family School Partnership Coordinator. We have Miss Melissa Brown, our secondary grades Family School Partnership Coordinator, and Miss Michelle Gilliard, our Leadership in Service Family School Partnership Coordinator, and Miss Jennifer Lansing, she's our Special Programs Family School Partnership Coordinator. And we have this big team in order to support and provide all the programs that we have in store for you for this school year. And I'm just going to go ahead and tell you why our team is so important to you guys, because we here at GCA, especially with our team, we internalize our focus is parent and family engagement, because we understand it is an ongoing process. It increases you guys' participation in school culture initiatives and activities. It increases your guys' communication between the schools and our school. It increases communication because we are now more family friendly focus and trying to communicate and being more proactive in initiatives that we have or instructions that we have coming down the pipelines. And of course, parent and family engagement is about collaboration. We're collaborating with our parents, our schools, our communities. We're collaborating with everyone to ensure the goal of educating the whole child. Our goal here is to educate the whole child, so we are allowing them to reach their full academic potential. Ways that we serve you. These are a few ways that we serve you, but we provide parent and student programmings and meetings. This is an example of how we serve you by providing trainings to you all so that you all are getting the tools in your toolbox to support your students and support your household. Parents and student volunteer opportunities. We're going to be launching a lot of volunteer opportunities, a lot of leadership opportunities for you and your student to get involved in, because again, we are all about parent and family engagement, that collaboration, that investment in our school. We recognize that you guys are valuable. So that's why we're communicating. We're proactively communicating. We're working with you because we see you guys as equal partners. We provide the school parent compacts, which will be coming soon, where it lists all the goals of what we have in our different grade bands that we're going to be providing for our student and what we're trying to try to reach. We're also going to be trying to come up with agreements, what the district is responsible for providing your student, what your teachers are responsible with providing your students, and yes, what parents are responsible with providing their students, and what students are responsible in order to ensure their full academic potential. So we will have that given to you guys shortly. We also have a parent and family engagement policy. That is our family-friendly document. It's going to be so transparent on how we're going to provide programming here at GCA to encourage that parent and family engagement, and providing all of our trainings, our programs, our volunteer opportunities, our leadership opportunities. It's just a transparent document so you guys know how we are engaging with parent and family engagement. We also provide resources and communications to all families, including families that have English learner students and limited English proficiency families, proficient families. So here, give me an emoji if you guys are familiar with some of these copyright and fairness use icons. Give me an emoji. Have you guys seen it before? Oops. I'm seeing a lot of people. Yeah, Daniela, you're familiar with it. Garcia, you said a thumbs up. Everybody's giving me some type of, so you've seen, I know a lot of us have seen the copyright, right? We see that when we watch videos and movies, there's some copyright. Why is this important here at GCA to us? Have you ever been in a situation where, I hope I do not have anybody in this room where they have actually used an image or used content and then it was flagged, right? Whether you turned in a paper or your students turned in a paper and it was flagged as, hey, this is a copyright infringement. So what do these mean to you? We're going to go over that. And again, did you know that if you use images that have these symbols on it, that it could possibly cost you some money or possible legal troubles? So tonight we're going to focus on trying to get you guys out of unwanted any issues. The resources that we have, the references that we have. We've done some research. Of course, we are not copyright gurus, but we can give you the basics to get you and your students through the school year to make sure that you don't get any unwanted issues when you are turning in documents or using images for presentations. All right. So the issue about copyright. Now, I know you guys probably already know what copyright is, but we're going to, just give you some research definition. But the issue about copyright here at GCA is students have access to all of the data that the internet has to provide us. The internet is a big world, right? And although this access can make researching for projects and writing papers a little easier, students have to know, parents have to know and be aware of the copyright rules, right? In order to avoid violating them. So again, we use certain tools to make sure that we are preventing any type of plagiarism or students are not turning in things that are plagiaristic or images that could cost them any issues. So we want to make sure that we educate you guys and your students so that you can prevent any unwanted issues. And to do this, you must find out and understand what copyright is and how it works. So what is copyright, right? It's a legal concept that works, it's a legal concept that works art, writing, images, music, and more belong to people who created them. So when you have an idea, right, and it's a brilliant idea, the first thing that you hear that people are saying and that you want to do, you want to get it copywritten so that you can protect your idea. This is the same way that people who've created content, created images, they want to do the same thing. So according to the copyright law, and any original content that you create and record in a lasting form is your own intellectual property. So anything that you create that is not out there, you can get it copywritten. We do not have the resource on how to go about doing that, but that's something that's very interesting. If you're interested in it, we can get you that information. I think you just can Google it. But at all intents and purposes, as far as researching research papers or projects that your teachers are going to have your students do, copyright is really, really important. We want to make sure, again, that our students are not utilizing images without referencing them. And you can still cite and refer to other sources, including copywritten material in your work. So you can still use the images, you just have to reference them. I don't know if you guys seen here, we already started. We referenced this definition because we didn't want to violate any copyright rules. So make sure that anytime that your students are starting to research things that they are referencing them, and your teachers are going to be giving you more information about that as well. Anytime of any research papers are going to be requested of them. So again, when you do this and you are doing it all well and you're referencing, this is going to hold you against any legal issues. And I'm going to go ahead and pass it on to my my coworker, Miss Lanya Welch.
Good afternoon, everyone. Okay, good afternoon and well, good evening, parents. Thank you so much for coming to this training. We really appreciate you. We know you could have been doing a lot of other things, but we're glad that you came by to learn about these important issues of copyright. But what I'm going to talk to you today about is piracy. Piracy is a little bit different than copyright. Piracy, in particular, online piracy, is considered theft. Okay, so theft is I'm sorry, it involves the downloading of materials, software, music from the internet and without permission. And that's where the theft comes in. Okay. So anytime you go online and you download something, music or whatever, without permission, you are committing piracy. I know it seems like an innocent thing to just go on and download something and to share it with all of your friends, but we'll get into that. I have a little scenario. So Kim downloaded her favorite song from a file sharing company instead of purchasing it. After downloading, she shared the song with her best friend, Lisa. Now, since the artist is a millionaire, really don't need the money, and probably wouldn't miss the $1.99 that Kim didn't pay for the song, is what Kim did really considered theft? How many people would agree that it was theft? And you can give a thumbs up. At the same time, does anybody believe that that was not theft? Oh, I hope that was just a late agreement that it was theft. Okay, so
Sorry,
let's see.
try it again. I cleared out the feedback. Let's see if people thought it was not theft.
Okay, so do we have anyone who feels that it was not theft? It was innocent. Do we have one person? Okay, so let's move on. So yes, you were right. What Kim did is considered piracy. So we know that sometimes you want to share things with your friends. It's your favorite song, it's your favorite artist, and they have a new song that comes out, and it's on YouTube and it's free, and you want to download it and you want to share it with all of your friends. You want to send it out to them, but you have to be very careful with that because it is considered theft. It is considered stealing because if you're downloading it for yourself for your own enjoyment, it's not so much as theft as it is, because remember, piracy is downloading songs and software and sharing it with others without having the permission from the owner. So you do not want to ever get caught doing that, because if you do, it's a hefty fine of up to $250,000, or you can get or 5 years of an imprisonment. So something as simple and as honest as sharing a song with your friends could really turn into something, some devastating consequences. So be very mindful when you are on the internet and you're downloading things. Do not share, because it could cause you some problems later on. So there are different types of copyrights, and we'll talk a little bit more about these. Everything on the internet is somebody's creative. It's something that someone has created, right? So when, as Miss Veronica talked about earlier, when people create things, they want to protect them. So they do what we call copyright, and copyright is protecting your work. And so there are different types of copyright, and we're going to get into the different types in just a minute. Right here, we mentioned Creative Commons and public domain. So we'll talk about those in just a minute. Okay. So when we think about the different types of copyright, we have a traditional copyright. Traditional copyright is basically you create something. You say you create a poem, you you write a song, you write a movie, you write a book, and you don't want people to go and take your ideas and use it for their own personal gain. So then what you would need to do is the Office of Copyright, you would fill out a form, and now they have it where you can do it online. You would go to the Copyright Office, you would fill out the form, you pay a fee. I think it could be up to like $100. It just depends on what you're copywriting. You pay the fee, and then they'll send you back a license stating that, okay, this is Sonia wrote this book, this is hers. No one else has the right to use this without her permission. You get a license. So that's traditional copyright. So therefore, if someone has copywritten their information, you are not allowed to use any parts of that information without getting their permission for it if you're trying to use it for your personal gain. So say you're having a play at the school and you want to use a song, you want to use a Mariah Carey song. And you said, well, it's innocent. I can use Mariah Carey. She will never know because it's a local play. It's at the school. But that is an offense. So that's using someone's creative thoughts or creative ideas without getting their permission. So that is illegal. So that falls under traditional copyright. Now, there are some websites where you can go and you can use some information. You can use some songs, you can use some creative ideas without having to get permission. And that's when you get into Creative Commons. Okay. So Creative Commons, you can use it under certain circumstances, right? So with Creative Commons, I'm going to talk to you a little bit more. I'll give you a little bit more about that. But just remember, with Creative Commons, you can use it, but it's still restricted. So you can, then we have public domain. So public domain, there are a lot of public domain websites online, and you can just go and Google and say music that's not copywritten, or where can I find just anything without copywritten, or look up some public domain websites, and you're able to use anything there without having permission. So there are people who will create things, create songs, create music, and they want people to use it. So they put those kind of things in a Creative Commons domain, or they'll put it in a public domain. Okay, and just to give a little bit more information here, we just talked about obtaining free content, and remember the Creative Commons and the public domain. So those are the two places. Like, again, the public domain has no restrictions. You can use any kind of work that's in the public domain. This means you can then, however, but you won't, with the public domain, you just want to make sure that it's actually not copywritten. Sometimes things can be tricky. Like there's sometimes on YouTube, they'll say this music is, you're able to use it freely. You can use it as a part of any of your projects. And then you go ahead and you use it on your YouTube video. And then all of a sudden they pull your video and they flag it and they said that there's a copyright issue. So you want to make sure when you go on a public domain website that it's actually public domain, and that record or the song or whatever you're using is actually public domain. And again, creative content is things that you can use, that content that won't cost you any money. But like I said, there are rules. And so it says people who choose to make their content Creative Commons can choose one or more of these licenses to apply for their work. So under creative content, there's what you call attributions. Now, attributions means that you can use, so say if I wrote a song and I say, okay, I want people to be able to use my songs. So, and I want to copyright it, and I want to use attribution. Okay, attribution means that if you use my song, I don't care that you use it. You can use it for free without my permission. All I ask is that you give me credit for using it. So that's where attribution is. Then you can copyright, say I want to copyright another song. And I said, well, this time I want to use non-commercial. Now, non-commercial means that you can use my song, but you cannot use it for any financial gain. So I don't mind you using it, but I don't want you getting money for something that I created. So when I do a copyright, I'm going to use non-commercial. And then there is non-derivative works that people copyright. So they may have written a poem and you want to use it, and they copyright it, they put it in Creative Commons. Creative Commons, remember, is a site where you can use, a copywritten information that you can use without permission. However, they have restrictions, remember? Okay, so I may restrict my work as non-derivative. Non-derivative means that you can use my poem, but you cannot change it in any form or fashion. So I don't mind you using it. I don't mind you getting financial gain for however you want to use it, but I don't want you to change anything. And then the last copyright is share alike. Okay, so share alike means I'm nice enough to let you use my project for free and without any permission. So all I ask you under share alike is that you do the same. So you will have to allow others to use your creative thoughts or whatever project you're creating. And I want you also to let other people use it without permission. So share alike is just, it just means that you're paying it forward. If I'm giving you something, letting you use my ideas, then I expect you to do the same thing. And so those are the different kind of free content that's a different kind of licensing under Creative Commons copyright. And how to tell if content is Creative Commons. So remember those little, let's go back. So this is how you tell if a content is Creative Commons. I know you can see this little, this picture here. So say you see this picture on the internet and you see those little icons above. That lets you know that this is Creative Commons. And it's also going to let you know what Creative Commons that it falls under. So remember, if we go back, you have either attribution, you have non-commercial, you have non-derivative works, or you have share alike. So when you see a picture like this, it could be one or all of these copyright under Creative Commons. So you just want to make sure what kind it is. So always remember, how I explained those icons, and that way you'll know what you need to do where Creative Commons is concerned. Okay, I may be able to use this, but I can't have any monetary gain, or I may be able to use this, but I have to make sure that someone else is going to be able to use my work. So always look for those icons, and it's going to tell you what kind of copyright it is. And finally, I wanted to talk to you about fair use. Okay, so guidelines for fair use is a majority of the content you create must be your own. Okay, but you have to, so say you write, say you're writing a story and you want to use some parts of someone else's story. Say you're teaching something, just like we're teaching today, and we're doing this workshop, this session with you today. And how Miss Veronica showed you at the bottom where she has the pointer, but she showed you at the bottom where it says GCF Global 2018, where we gave credit to this, where we have this reference and we gave credit to it. That's fair use. So fair use, you can always use something without permission, but you must give credit. You must do a reference so that you won't get any trouble with it. So as you learned earlier, you generally need to license copywritten material in order to use it. So fair use a lot of times can require money, but when you want to use something that is already copywritten and you don't mind, like say you want to do a play, you want to do your favorite play, you want to do The Lion King. So you can't just go and do a performance at your school of The Lion King. You have to get permission to do that. So you have to go, there's proper channels. You go to the copyright, website. They give you information on how you can apply to do The Lion King. There are certain rules that you have to follow, and you do that, and you pay a fee. So, and it can be quite expensive to do something like that, and we're talking thousands of dollars. So just beware of all of the copyrights that we have. Be aware of the forms of Creative Commons that we have. And beware that piracy is theft, although it seems innocent, Although it's like, I'm just downloading a song, it's just an innocent thing. It's not as innocent as you may think when you can possibly pay up to $250,000. So, and actually get jail time. So that's what I want to talk to you about. Piracy, Creative Commons, public domain, fair use. And that is all I have for you. I'm going to turn it over now to Miss Michelle Gilliard, and she will take it on home.
Hey, my GCA Champions. It's so good to see you on this beautiful Tuesday. Yeah, it's Tuesday. It feels like Friday, right? Give me a thumbs up if it feels like it should be Friday to you guys. I know for me, yeah, it does. It's like, okay, really? It's just Tuesday? Okay, so I'm going to keep the show rolling. All right, so I'm going to go over a little bit more on the misusing copyright material. Again, guys, think of it from this perspective. Just as Miss Sonia said, if you go through and put all of your work into something, put yourself in their shoes. You would not want anyone to take your fabulous idea and make money from it when you haven't given the permission to. You wouldn't want anyone to take your fabulous idea and use it when you haven't given them permission to. And then also, you don't want them to take your fabulous idea and change it, right? Change the intent and the meaning behind it, right? So just be careful with that. In short, it's better to do what's right than to risk of violating copyright and fair use laws. Also, if you get a request from someone saying you have used my material and I have not given you authorization to do so, take it down immediately. Immediately, even if you think, oh, I think that was such a, just take it down, because it's a lot easier to just go ahead and remove it and figure it out than to leave it and then you find out legally you shouldn't have done that and now you're in even more trouble. Things like having your website shut down if it's published, excuse me, or getting sued by the person that owns it. So again, better to do what's right than to risk violating copyright laws. Reach out to your content teacher if you're having trouble finding these things. Also, Miss Sonia or Miss Veronica, if you guys could just point down to where the presentation slides are down in the bottom in the group note board. For those of you that are on a desktop, you can see that group note board. These presentation slides are located there for you, and those links from the slides that Miss Veronica and Miss Sonia read from for Creative Commons, those all are clickable links. So please download that. And Veronica and Sonia, if you guys would just pop the link for the presentation slides in the chat box for those that are on mobile devices, because again, we know if you called in on your mobile, you can't see that group note board down at the bottom. So I'm going to move on to a couple other items. First, 4 computer maintenance tips. Now we've got a link there at the bottom of that page. Again, there's the presentation link. You can click on that link and you can get a long list of other maintenance tips. Those come from Norton. But the 4 that I found that really stood out to me that I wanted to make sure I cover was dust your keyboard using compressed air. We have keyboards that come back to Georgia Cyber Academy that have been wiped down with rags and soap and water, or sprayed down with Windex. You can't use that type of product on your keyboards or your monitors or your CPUs. It's better to not to, because you don't want to get that water to get in there and damage it. Number 2, wipe down your monitor. I have need to practice what I preach here, because one day we were in a work session and we were working on one of our documents and I thought there was a semicolon in my document and I kept trying to backspace it, and then I looked and I realized that was actually a spot on my monitor. So periodically take your time, get those little lens wipes. They sell those. I think I had one here to show you and I moved it away. But they have these little lens wipes in the stores. I can't believe I'm just gonna have to grab it because I really want you to see that. I'm sorry. The ones you even buy for your glasses. So the ones you actually even buy to wipe your glasses, if you wear glasses, you can use those. They're like little alcohol wipes. They don't go far, but that's the point. You don't want to go far when you're talking about your computer equipment. On our next slide, email safety tips. A big one, big one, big one. Don't open emails from someone you don't trust, or someone sent you something and you aren't expecting it. One of the easiest ways for you to get malware or viruses on your computer is by opening an attachment. As soon as you double click on it and open it, they got you. If you've ever seen those commercials or things on TV or read on social media how companies' systems got taken over, the majority of the time it was an email that somebody in that organization opened, or some type of document, or it could have just been somebody sticking flash drive in a computer that wasn't secure. But don't open emails from someone you don't trust. If you're not sure, it says, oh, you won $1 million, click here. Do not click on that email. Publishers Clearinghouse knocks on the door when you won $1 million. Don't open that email. Number 2, avoid sending any sensitive information over email, right? So even when you're getting information, when you're filling out different applications and things of that nature with companies online, just be careful about putting your sensitive information over email. Most of the times they have you go to a website that's secure. I don't know if you guys have ever noticed that little lock symbol that's down in one of the corners of your web page when you have it open. That lets you know that website is secure. The next one is never open an attachment with an email from a company or person you don't know or were not expecting. So one of the things you want to think about is if you get an email from your director or from one of your peers at 2 o'clock in the morning, and it has an attachment, so it's someone that you work with frequently, but they aren't usually working at 2 in the morning, right? Or they shouldn't be working at 2 o'clock in the morning. If something like that comes across, just wait a little bit till they come in and say, hey, Sonia, did you send me an attachment about 2 o'clock this morning that said proposal? And Sonia will say, I was asleep at 2 in the morning. That could be a potential email, and they do that sometimes. Those people are very clever at getting in your computer. Be cautious when connecting to open Wi-Fi. So this was a big one. When you're at McDonald's or you're at your favorite burger joint, every place now has open Wi-Fi. Just be cautious when you're with your personal computer, especially if you have a PC that you use frequently and you've got your bank passwords saved, or you may have some of your checking accounts or savings accounts or whatever type of account, your Target account, and you're going across open Wi-Fi. Sometimes there can be malicious people that can grab your information on those open Wi-Fi. And I'm not talking when you're in your house and you've got your firewalls or your firewall set up so that people can't get in and out and get your data. But when you're in just an open Wi-Fi environment where people are able to grab your data, keep your password secure. This is a really big one, and I know it can be a hassle to try to remember those 8 and 12 letter passwords with capital and lowercase numbers. But that whole thing about, remember we used to learn how to spell certain words with the song or remember specific concepts with the song? Come up with, even if it's one of your favorite songs from whatever year was your favorite year for music. Maybe it might just be the chorus, the first letters in the chorus of one of your favorite songs, or the second letter of every word in the chorus of one of your favorite songs. Again, make it something that's hard for someone to try to figure out. Make sure you're not just going around singing that song all the time either. Because then they're like, oh, let's try this. So again, think about those kind of things. Keep your password secure. Don't write it on a piece of paper and stick it under your desk or in your drawer or behind your monitor, because that's where they're going to look, because those are the most common places. Internet safety tips. Okay, so this is for my learning coaches and my students. You guys have heard this before in your teachers' classes. Students, don't give your personal information out without your parents' permission. Just don't do it, because you never know if the person that you think that you're chatting with or that you're talking to or that you're emailing with is who you think they are, okay? Just don't do it, all right? Just don't do it, okay? And again, just because somebody asks you for your information doesn't mean you have to tell them. And even when you're talking to adults, because I know as adults, even with our own children, we think about it, we tell our kids, be respectful and answer questions when adults are speaking with you. But there are some limitations, right? You don't want to give them your last name, your home address, your phone number, where your mom and dad works, how much they make, how many TVs you have in your office. Again, be careful with that information because, again, you just don't know if the person you're speaking with is the person you think you're speaking with. And then also on that is you just don't know who else is in the room that's hearing what you're saying to these other people. So that's, again, specifically for our students, but also for our parents. When you're doing screen names, don't include personal information like your last name. That I am very guilty of. I actually had to, I went back and started to change some of those because all of my screen names were M. Gilliard, M. Gilliard, M. Gilliard, and that's just not safe. Passwords, this goes without saying, don't share your passwords and log out of your computers when you're done. And allow your when your screensavers come on, that lock your computer, don't turn that functionality off. That is going to save you for that moment when you get up and walk away from your computer for your lunch break, from someone being able to sit right down in front of your computer and get your data. Photos. Don't put your pictures on the internet. Even here as a school, unless it's a certain very specific criteria, we don't even post photos with your student's name on them. You may have their first name, last initial, because even for us as a school, we're trying to protect your students. But for our students, please remember, don't post your photos without your parents' permission on any website, on Instagram, Twitter. I twisted up two of them, Twitter, Instagram, WhatsApp. Talk to your parents about what you're posting because remember, guys, once it's out there and you can delete it from your personal device, but if somebody took a screenshot of it before you deleted it, you no longer have any access to that. So be careful. Watch what you're putting on your phones. Watch what you're sharing. And again, don't agree to meet any online friends without your parents' permission. And I can say this 100 times. The majority of the time, the person that you think you're talking to is not the person that you're talking to. So we want to protect you from those people that honestly just don't have your best interest at heart. Plagiarism and honor code. Again, this is a clickable link to our district handbook on page 79. It actually explains our academic integrity policy, so you can actually bring that up. Plagiarism, we talked a little bit about that when we were talking about citing and giving people credit for the work that they do. We are expecting our students to follow this honor code and the plagiarism code, primarily because even if you get away with it the first time or you think you've gotten away with it the first time, you haven't learned anything and you're hurting yourself. You may have heard, any of our students that are on here, I know you may have even heard your parents say that you're hurting me more than you're hurting anyone else. You really and truly are, because you've lost an opportunity to learn the right way to do it. And there are consequences when you violate plagiarisms in the honor code policy here at Georgia Cyber Academy. And if you're not sure, we understand sometimes it's a mistake. It's an honest mistake where you may have accidentally forgot to do your citation. When your teacher reaches out to you and says, hey, you need to go back through this and take a look, or better yet, submit your papers. Here, I'm going to do a plug for TutorMe, which is our free tutoring service. If you guys don't know about it, go to our georgiacyber.org webpage, or Sonia or Veronica, if you guys could pop the TutorMe link into the chat box from the website. We have a writing center in TutorMe, and your students can submit their papers through the TutorMe resource, and they will help them with things like that. Again, they won't help them write their paper, but if they have problems, if they're trying to do their MLA or APA, depending on what citation type they're doing for that class and they need some support, they can actually submit their paper in through the Writing Center on TutorMe and get that support. Thank you so much, Ms. Veronica. So please use that resource. It's a wonderful resource for you. And it's free. This was another one. I found this one a couple of days ago. It says K to 5 or K to 3, but honestly, that vocabulary can go across all grade bands. So it's about a 15-page document that I wish existed when I first got into this business a whole bunch of years ago. That has a lot of digital vocabulary and what it means. When you hear CPU or you hear, we don't hear floppy disk. So now I'm telling my age. Floppy disk or things like CD-ROM. Some people don't know what that means. If you're not in this business and you're not doing these things every day, you may not know. Yeah, exactly. You may not know what that means. If you ever watched the IT Crowd, it's one of those British television shows, and the lady asked her at a job interview, what does IT mean? And she didn't know. So again, take a look. Again, like we said, that presentation slides down there in the group note board. Miss Veronica and Miss Sonia also put it in the chat. Click on that link, and it's about 15 pages of digital literacy vocabulary that even I found some really cool things that I wasn't aware of. So please take a look at that and increase your own knowledge on digital literacy. So now we're going to have some fun. So we're going to play a game called Kahoot. Who in here has watched their students play Kahoot here at Georgia Cyber Academy in one of your classes for? Give me a emoji. Yay! So now it is the parents' time to play Kahoot. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn my camera off. And what I want you to do is go ahead while you're waiting for me to get my screen loaded. Go ahead and go to www.kahootit. So again, it's www.kahoot.it. And I'm going to give you the code that you're going to put in 1 moment. So give me 1 moment to turn off my camera, share my screen big, and I'm going to go to share. Give me 1 moment. Take some time, a couple of moments for screen sharing to start. So just give me a moment. I've got a few questions that I'm going to ask you guys about the presentation that we held here today. And we're going to see how you do. So 1 moment screen sharing, of course, it's taking its sweet time. Here it goes. All right, share. All right, so you guys should see my screen. Everyone see my screen? Okay, and then for those of you, again, you're going to go to www.kahootit.com, www.kahootit.com, and you're going to put in the game pin 8312926. And I'm going to come back and I'm going to type that in the chat box too for anybody that misses it. So I forgot what it was. 8312926. 8312926. All right. You hit enter. 8312926. All right. We've got a couple of people coming into the room. I've got 16. Purple Bison. Smiling Gazelle. You guys know how to play Kahoot. Y'all are not playing. Y'all are coming in. Sturdy Buffalo. I love that name. Okay, we're going to give you a few more minutes. I want to make sure right now we've only got 34 people. And I know in this room I saw about 100 and something people logged in. So please don't drop because we still want to have you guys fill out our attendance link. Veronica and Sonia, if you could please pop that into the chat box too, just in case. Because I don't want to lose anyone that ends up leaving before they fill out the attendance. All right. So we've got about 39 people, 40. We're going to give it about 10 more seconds, and we're going to get started. Good deal. Yeah, we're at 42. Good deal. Again, 8312926 is the password, is your game pin. You're going to www.kahootit.com, or if you have the app, you just open your Kahoot app. All right, so we're going to go ahead and get started. We got Snowy Possum in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right, we're going to go ahead and get started again. The code is 83129926. Aquatic llama. That's what I'm talking about. All right, epic horse. We'll do one more countdown. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Here we go. So today's code is on copyright, piracy, and literacy training. So welcome, welcome, welcome. Again, this if this is your first time playing Kahoot, we know your students have played it plenty of times. For those of you that are still trying to get in, it's kahootit.com, and the game pin is 8312926. And in the interest of time, I want to go ahead and get us started. So first one is a quiz question. Multi-select. What are the types of copyright? There can be multiple answers to this question. What are the types of copyright? All right, we got 9 correct answers. Let's see who's leading the game. All right, Radiant Unicorn and quick on the draw. We've got Fearless Speaks in second place and Dynamic Swan in third place. Let's keep it going. Quiz number 2. This one is a double point. Downloading and sharing copyright material without permission is illegal. And if caught, what are the consequences? What are the consequences for downloading? What are the consequences? All right, good job. They really got that one, Miss Sonia. Good job, 38. Let's see who's on the leaderboard. Radiant Unicorn still hanging on in there at 3874. Fearless Speaks at 3580, and Dynamic Swan is at 2983. We've got Gentle Swan swinging up there too, and we got Lucky Panda that's coming on in at number 5 with 1832. Good job, guys. All right, true or false? True or false? Kim was downloading her favorite song from a file sharing company instead of purchasing it. After downloading, she shared it with her best friend. Since that artist is a millionaire and she don't really need all that money, is what Kim did considered piracy? True or false? All right, good job, 46 truths, and you are correct. All right, truths, Radiant Unicorn. And we have an answer streak, 4 players that hit an answer streak. Good job, guys. Fearless Speaks, Dynamic Swan, Gentle Swan, and Honest Sea Lion. That is a cool one. Honest Sea Lion. All right, let's see what's coming up next. Question number 5. Again, a multi-select. So multiple answers, double points. If everything on the internet belongs to someone, how do you obtain materials that you can use for your projects for free? So if everything belongs to someone, how do you obtain images, music, and other materials that you can use in your projects for free? You guys can do it. Remember, this is double points. Multiple answer question. Good job. Public domain content and Creative Commons content. Perfect. Who picked Wikipedia? Come on now. You know you shouldn't be using Wikipedia at all. All right, Radiant Unicorn. Swing it up. 8263. Dynamic Swan. Honest Sea Lion. Fearless Speaks. And Lucky Panda. That's a cool one too. I'm really digging Honest Sea Lion. That is a cool one. All right, number 6. What does the acronym CPU stand for? What does CPU? That's what I'm talking about. My GCA parents are on it. You guys, Central Processing Unit. That's what I'm talking about. Proud of my GCA parents. Oh, look, it shifted a bit. We've still got Radiant Unicorn at number 1. Honest Sea Lion with 7,099. And Lucky Panda, and all 3 of them had an answer streak of 3. So you guys are really doing it. I'm so proud of my GCA parents. And students, you guys are fabulous. Question 7 of 8. What is the best way to clean your keyboard? Banging on a desk. Can of compressed air, soap and water, or Windex? Thank you guys. Who did banging on the desk? All right, I'm gonna figure out who did banging on the desk because I need to know. Never use Windex or soap and water. Get down in the keys, break it, and we have to send you a new one. Use a can of compressed air. Let's see where we are. Radiant Unicorn is still in number 1 on a Sea Lion, followed by Lucky Panda, Dynamic Swan, and Friendly Pigeon is new on the board. Congratulations. Good job. And Rocky Otter is actually the highest climber so far. So good job, Rocky Otter. True or false? Last question, double points. Email attachments are always safe. You guys are getting the hang of code. That went fast, boy. You guys are on it. Correct. The key word there is always, right? Whenever you see the word always, it usually means it's false. So definitely pick up on that. Let's see how this game went. It's going to show us the podium. Number 3, Lucky Panda. Number 2, Honest Sea Lion. And who was our number 1 with 7 out of 7? Radiant Unicorn. All right, make sure we get a screenshot of this so that we can save this for our records. Just saving that real quick. Save. All right, now I'm coming back to our screen. You guys did a fabulous job. I am uber excited about it. Let me go back to our documents. And I would love for you guys to take an opportunity and thank you. Fill out our attendance link for tonight's session. Again, thank you so much from our team. I am Michelle Gilliard. I am your Leadership and Service Family School Partnership Coordinator. Miss Veronica Opani was here. She opened the session out. For us, she is your primary and elementary grades Family School Partnership Coordinator. We have Miss Sonia Welch, who is our middle grades Family School Partnership Coordinator, and Miss Melissa Brown, who handles our secondary grades, as well as Miss Jennifer Lansing, who is here with us tonight, who handles our special programs. Again, we want to give you guys a few more minutes. Please make sure you take an opportunity. We will be taking the recording and posting it on the calendar. Takes about 24 hours for us to get that done. If you want these slides right now, please make sure you go down and click in the presentation slides. Down in the bottom and fill out the attendance link. And with that, I will stop the recording. Okay, I appreciate you all for coming tonight. Again, thank you so much from our Family School Partnership team. Have a great evening.